What's up guys? Today I'm going to be showing you how to make this super easy one-piece wooden American flag. Let's get started. Alright, so first up we're starting out with a 2 foot by 4 foot piece of 15/32 inch BC plywood. They just sell it at the store like this. It was about 20 bucks. And what we're going to do is just go ahead and cut this to length and height. So we're going to cut the length to 37 inches and the height we're going to cut to 19.5 inches. And when you're at the store picking it out, do your best to find one that is mostly straight, and also try and find one that has some cool designs in it, and that will look cool when you're burning it and when the stain comes in. So as you can see, this one's got some cool little swirlies and whatnot. So yeah, if you find one that looks cooler, it'll just turn out cooler, and the straighter the better. But let's go ahead and get that cut. And if you don't have a saw at home, I think most Lowe's and Home Depots have the cutting stations there. So it wouldn't be that hard to just ask them to make the 2 cuts for you, and then you wouldn't have to do any cutting yourself, and that would allow you to do it if you don't have a saw at home. So just keep that in mind. Alright, so now we got this cut down to size. I got my orbital sander and I'm just going to cruise over it with some 220 grit. And you don't need an orbital sander, you can just use regular sandpaper. I'm just using this because I got it, but you can always just use regular sandpaper and just go over it using your hand too. Alright, so now that we're done sanding, we're going to go ahead and torch it. So I just got a Bernzomatic propane torch, and you just want to cruise over it and just kind of let the torch bring out the grain in the wood. The biggest thing to do is just make sure you don't stop anywhere and pause, otherwise it'll leave a big spot. So you just want to make sure you kind of stay moving. But I'll go ahead and just show you kind of how I do it. And you can do it as dark or as light as you want to. So anyways, kind of something like that, but I'll go ahead and get the rest of this thing torched out, and then we'll be ready for stain. Alright, so now that we're done torching, next up we're going to get everything marked out before we start staining. So obviously we'll have 13 stripes. Each stripe will be 1.5 inches. So I'm just going to go down on either side. For the right side, I'll make a mark every 1.5 inches, and then for this left side, I'll make a mark at 10.5 inches, and then that will be for my union, and then obviously I'll do 1.5 inches past that. So then obviously for the union, you'll have to make another mark at 10.5 inches, and the union will be 14.75 inches long, so you can measure over 14.75 inches, make a mark, and then go down 10.5, make another mark so that you got your little cross down here. So we'll have the square up here for the union, and then we'll have all of the stripes. Probably get your union marked out first so that you don't accidentally start marking stripes through it. But once I get the sides marked out, then I'll just lightly take a pencil and just lightly mark it out. And then once we stain it, you won't see the pencil mark. It'll just kind of disappear. So once again, for the union, we got 10.5 by 14.75, and then each of the stripes will be 1.5 inches. So let's go ahead and get it marked out. Alright, so now that we got that marked out, I don't know if you can see the lines on there, but they're on there. So first I'm going to stain the red stripes. So I'm just going to tape off the white stripes, so pretty much every other stripe starting from the second from the top. So you'll have red on the very top and then red on the very bottom. And then also I'm going to tape off the union. I just got this frog tape here. It's like 0.94 inches. And I just like this stuff because then I can just do one side and then do the other side, and then the tape will just overlap in the middle, and then that way I don't have to cut it. If you do have the thicker stuff, usually I'll just pull out a long piece of it and then I'll just do my best to cut it in half, and then I'll do the same thing. I'll just use the 2 straight ends and then overlap them in the middle. And then you just want to make sure when you're putting this stuff down that you just push down along the edges as best as you can, and then that will give it the best chance of sticking. So we can go ahead and get this all taped off. All right, so we got that all taped off. So next up we can go ahead and get the red stained. I'm just using this Minwax water-based stain. This is tinted in crimson. I got it from Lowe's. I actually just started using this stuff fairly recently, so we'll see how it works on this. But like I said, I'll be using a rag, but we'll just go ahead and brush it on. And I will not be staining the very edges. I'll just be staining the face. I burned the very edges a little bit darker, so I just kind of gave them their own little border. And usually I'll do about 2 or 3 coats of each of the colors, depending on how they're coming through. But obviously you can do as many coats as you would like. All right, now we can go ahead and get our tape pulled. And then we'll want to give this some time to dry up all the way. And then once this is all dried up, I got some Varathane water-based wood stain tinted in white. And what I'll do is just tape off all of the red stripes, and then we can go ahead and stain the white stripes. All right, now we're done with the white. I went ahead and gave that some time to dry, and now obviously we're gonna do the blue. And for that, I got this denim blue, and this is also the Minwax water-based wood stain, and this has the clear tint base. So we're gonna go ahead, tape off for the union, and get that stained. All right, so I went ahead, gave that some time to dry. You can go ahead and pull our tape. And then next I'm gonna go ahead and put a coat of this 2X Ultra Cover Gloss Sealer. I'll just go ahead and do 1 coat of this, and then we can move on to the stars. All right, so then next up we're gonna get our stars painted. So I just got my stencil here. I can link this in the description. And then I got some of this Easy Tack repositioning spray. So what I'll do is just spray this on the back. If you just follow the instructions, you shake it real good, you spray a thin coat on the back, and then you let it dry for 60 seconds, and then you go ahead and lay this down, and try to lay it down in the right spot on the first try, just because it will be sticky on the back. So then you lay it down, and then I'll go ahead and tape off the area around it so that I don't get any overspray. And then I got some white semi-gloss, and then I'll just go ahead and spray a few coats on there, and then just make sure you give it time to dry in between so that it doesn't bleed. And then once you're done, you just peel it off and the stars will be good. So go ahead and get these sprayed out. And then when you're done with this stuff, you want to make sure you hold it upside down and spray it until everything clears out of it, and then that way the nozzle won't get plugged up. Then we're gonna let this dry for a minute. All right, so went ahead and got those sprayed out. Hopefully I didn't go too heavy. Usually I try to do super light coats so that way they don't bleed. And it looks like they turned out pretty clean. That Easy Tack works really well, actually. All right, and then once those dry up, the last thing that we have to do is just put some hangers on it. So you can put any picture style hanger on it you'd like. I just got these sawtooth hangers, so I'll just flip it over and just go ahead and throw these on the back, one on either side, and then we'll be good to go. And just make sure that whatever you use, just make sure that it's short enough to where it won't come through the face of it. Alright, so there are the hangers. And then one thing that I forgot to mention with the stencil, for the repositioning tray to clean that stuff off, I just use mineral spirits and a rag. You just got to put quite a bit of it on a rag and then just go over the back of it and then do as best you can to get it all off. Maybe take another part of your rag with more mineral spirits and then wipe it. And then just leave it out to dry and it'll dry up nicely and then you can use it again. Alright, so that is pretty much it for you. This thing is super easy to make, and it's a great option for anybody who does not have a lot of tools and isn't interested in buying a lot of tools but still wants to make their own. If you guys enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. I'd love to hear any other video recommendations. Thank you everybody so much for watching, and please have a great day.